Welcome to Starship TV. America's westward expansion and the spirit of exploration. Introduction. The Call of the Frontier. America's westward expansion during the 18th and 19th centuries represents one of the boldest and most transformative periods in the history of the United States. It was a time defined by exploration, immense courage, and the desire to forge a new life in unknown territories. What began as a scattered migration of explorers and settlers evolved into a full national movement driven by dreams of opportunity, land, and liberty. In many ways, this movement was the moonwalk of its time, a national leap into the vast unknown. The early trailblazers, pioneers of the frontier. Before the West was mapped and charted, brave individuals ventured into uncharted wilderness with little more than grit and instinct to guide them. These early trailblazers included fur trappers, scouts, and adventurers who laid the foundation for future settlers. Notable early explorers. Daniel Boone, a legendary frontiersman. Boone led settlers through the Cumberland Gap into Kentucky, helping to open the western frontier beyond the Appalachian Mountains. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, commissioned by President Thomas Jefferson in 1804, the Lewis and Clark Expedition, explored the newly acquired Louisiana Territory. Charting rivers, meeting Native American tribes, and reaching the Pacific Ocean. Zebulon Pike, Pike's southwestern expeditions, offered early American insights into the Rocky Mountains and territories that would later become part of the southwestern United States. These explorers were the equivalents of astronauts, stepping into the vast void of wilderness with little idea of what lay ahead. Famous trails and pathways west. As expansion intensified, several major trails became the arteries through which settlers flowed into the western frontier. These trails were more than roads. They were lifelines of hope and hardship. Oregon Trail, stretching over 2,000 miles from Missouri to Oregon. This trail became the primary route for thousands of settlers seeking new lives in the Pacific Northwest. Travelers faced treacherous rivers, steep mountains, disease, and weather extremes. Santa Fe Trail, a vital commercial route between Missouri and Santa Fe. This trail was key to trade with Mexico and opened the American Southwest to settlers and commerce. California Trail, used by gold seekers during the California Gold Rush of 1849, this trail paralleled the Oregon Trail, before splitting southwest toward the Sierra Nevada. These trails carved paths into the wilderness, much like modern space missions chart courses to unknown celestial bodies. The hardships endured along these trails mirrored the dangers of space travel. Disease, isolation, environmental threats, and the constant specter of the unknown. Westward expansion, a terrestrial moonwalk. To the 19th century American, westward expansion was as bold and uncertain as sending astronauts to the moon. The idea of uprooting families, crossing thousands of miles through harsh and unforgiving terrain, and rebuilding lives from scratch required immense bravery and resolve. Technological equivalents. Covered wagons equal to spacecraft. Primitive by modern standards, yet essential vehicles carrying precious human cargo into the unknown. Trail guides equal to mission commanders. Experienced guides and scouts provided critical knowledge and leadership, much like mission commanders guide astronauts. Homesteads equal to lunar bases. Each settler's cabin was a foothold in the wilderness, a fragile outpost of civilization amidst the wild, echoing the concept of a human base on an alien world. The human spirit of exploration. Westward expansion was not merely a geographic movement. It was a spiritual and philosophical journey. Settlers were driven by the idea of manifest destiny, the belief that Americans were destined to expand across the continent. This echoed the current view of humanity's destiny to explore other planets, stars, and dimensions. In both movements, the frontier represents freedom, opportunity, and rebirth. The West gave Americans a chance to start anew. Space offers similar potential for future generations. From westward to outward, the multiverse frontier. Just as Lewis and Clark ventured into the wilderness beyond the Mississippi, modern explorers now ponder realms far stranger than any territory on Earth, the cosmos, other dimensions, and the multiverse. The multiverse idea. In quantum physics and cosmology, the concept of a multiverse suggests that our universe is just one of many possible realities. These other universes might follow different physical laws, host different versions of ourselves, or hold entirely alien forms of life and consciousness. Interdimensional exploration. The idea of traveling between dimensions, once the realm of science fiction, is now considered theoretically plausible within certain interpretations of string theory and quantum mechanics. This would be the next step beyond space travel, exploring not just planets and galaxies, but entirely new dimensions of existence. Just as the West once called to the brave and daring, the multiverse now calls to the next generation of explorers. In every age, humanity has reached for what lies beyond its current grasp, driven by a deep need to understand and expand. Before we continue, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us today at Starship TV. Conclusion: a legacy of exploration. The story of America's westward expansion is more than a tale of wagons and wilderness. It is the story of a people reaching into the unknown with courage and hope. That same spirit fuels our drive to reach the stars and explore the mysteries of the universe. Whether crossing the Rockies or landing on Mars, settling the West or exploring other dimensions, the human soul remains restless, curious, and unafraid. The frontiers may change, but the heart of the explorer remains the same. We are, and always have been, pioneers.